Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look at catalog pages and in particular category pages that we want to present to the user with category subcategory hierarchy. Now, one of the big things we want you to take away from this video is that there are a lot of different options for how we can present this for your business. A lot of different businesses have specific needs and they may or may not need some of the extensive capabilities, or they may need more extensive capabilities in certain areas based on their specific scenario. We want to encourage you to take a look at the very end of this video to look at options for how we can evaluate your needs and help you come up with a plan that suits you best. With that said, let's get into this video. Okay, so starting out, we're going to take a look at a pretty standard example of a set of category pages. And in this particular case, we have just kind of a landing page for the categories. And we're going to give the user an option to be able to go in and browse these items. Now, they can also go into these items by industry. So they may have a specific industry that they're part of. And then once they've kind of gotten into a specific industry, we're going to show them options within that particular industry. Now, there are different ways to present this, in particular ways that we can take advantage of organic SEO and maybe a specific set of kind of wizard features where they need to filter and sort by the items in a certain way. But generally speaking, when you're looking at category pages, you want to present imagery so that the user can visually see what they're going to be digging into. So then finally, once they select a particular subcategory and they've kind of drilled themselves into that, then they're going to go to the catalog itself. They're going to have a lot of search features, and this is going to be dynamically applying some of the different filters to that search. Okay, so now let's take a look at another example. Here we're showing just kind of a list of categories, and this would be top-level categories. And then we have the text below the imagery that's showing up. And then whenever they drill in, you can also see there's another view where they have a tree view option where they can kind of drill into that tree view as they progress through the categories. And then finally, once they've selected a set of categories, again, they go to the product kind of grid listing. And then this example, we're going to take a look at. This is a very visual presentation style. So this is just going to have some very significant size images. We're going to be showing them some different icons for the different categories so they can have like a visual within each category. And then as they drill into these subcategories, you can see there's a lot more text. And this is going to help, of course, with organic SEO, as well as just generally give the user some basic information. And then the related subcategories are going to show up within that. Now, this is another example that's really interesting. And basically, for this example, we're showing a kind of list of the subcategories along with the list of the categories themselves. Now, for this particular use case, there's a pretty long list of the categories that will show up. So they also have the ability to expand and collapse those as they're navigating. Now, once they've gone in and clicked into a subcategory, they're then going to see a number of items that are available within that list. So they actually get a physical number, and then they're going to be able to see kind of the subcategories as you would expect typically. And then finally, once they've selected a particular subcategory, again, they have this nice filtering view. But here you can see this is more of a list as opposed to a grid, and they can do some sorting and filtering really easily for this particular list of options. Okay, so let's take a look at another example now. This example shows a much more kind of immersive page overall. So you can see we have a visual component at the top where we're presenting this kind of top level category, and we're showing a visual of what the representative equipment would be for this restaurant equipment category. Then we're showing featured items, and these can be dynamic or they can be queuing up from a back office ERP system or the administration system within the e-commerce, essentially a PIM system or a, really any data source. But these can also be dynamic based on the traffic that's going to some of these different subcategories or the number of purchases that are going through some of these subcategories within the set timeline. In addition, these guys have chosen to put ads into these sections. Now, this can be internal ads, or it can be ads from vendors who are selling within a marketplace. It can be ads from a buying group where some of the vendors, some of the different suppliers are going to be promoting their opportunities within different categories. Maybe they have a discount, maybe they have a group purchase that's going on and it's going to expire by a certain time. That kind of thing is pretty nice to show to the user. And then, of course, we have the full list of subcategories below. Now, this particular category page also shows some of the top products so that the user can see some of the top selling products within that subcategory as well. So this is a really nice example of kind of a full-fledged presentation of a category page. And then whenever we drill down into a subcategory even further, you can see we have a very similar presentation style, but this is going to be related to that specific subcategory. And then finally, once we get into the actual catalog, we've already got the application of the categories themselves. And now we have this kind of tree view where the user can continue to drill down even further. And then we also wanted to show that for this particular company, they chose to use the closeouts as another category. This is a really nice option. It's not just closeouts. We can also present a lot of different capabilities with each category. So every single category within the e-commerce platform has the ability to dynamically or manually override the header section, the footer, the sidebars, some of the content that's displayed within dynamically. And we can actually show, in this case, closeouts. So they have featured items that they're showing, and they're actually going to include closeout products as a view, as an option within this list of products. Now, this can include a lot of different promotional areas. So it doesn't just have to include closeouts. It can be featured items, most popular, new items. It can be items that are for a specific brand. And so you get the idea. The category, subcategory can apply not just to the category, subcategory taxonomy, but it can also apply to brands, to different locations. So you may have filtering on these categories so that if a user has selected a particular store or a particular warehouse, or maybe they're logged in as a certain user type, they're going to get a filtered view based on that. Maybe they have purchased something specific in the past, and we want to show certain categories higher up the list that are going to pertain to that user. These are all things that we can do within the e-commerce platform. And we just generally want to encourage you that if you have any questions or any topics that you want to get into detail with, we have a really specific process that is complimentary that can help you out with getting more into the weeds and looking at how we can come up with a solution that's best suited for your particular business. So with that in mind, we've set up a complimentary discovery process where as you're evaluating some of the different options for e-commerce vendors and some of the capabilities, in this case, around group ordering, bulk ordering, capabilities to do things that are maybe complex around punch-out catalog, for example, wish list, shopping list, etc. We really are experts in these areas, and we want to help you out. Whether or not you end up working with us, we offer a complimentary discovery process that can help you get some of this documented. We actually bring in a business analyst team member to help document what your needs are and help present options and solutions. And whether or not we can provide a great fit, we absolutely want to help you with your process. We thank you very much for watching this video, and we will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks again, and bye for now.